Runway 24 arrivals. Here we go. So, just now, there's the holding area there, and
Where's that?
down by Peebles. And from there, just now, they get vectored straight up like that. So they're coming right up over Gorebridge, Mayfield, Newton Grange, Dalkeith, all the heavily residential areas in Midlothian. In a fair, and there are some that come over here too. I was looking at the tracks on the radar, but the barks all go straight over the heavily populated areas. Under this new system, the PBN route that they've chosen is that one there. The key point is the gap there between Musselburgh and Prestonpans is a very, very slight gap. I believe they actually got in cars and were driving around to try to find the best place to bring the planes over that was going to affect these people. Needless to say, apparently quite a few people there are not very happy about it. But I mean, that's not that much different from what they've got just now, because the closer they get towards Inchkeith, they're narrowing down anyway. So that's not that different from what they have just now.
Is that 4,000 feet level?
There, that's usually about 4,000 feet probably, or slightly less. I've been trying to track on this where the different towns of this fit in. There's Bathhead there. Cowsland is not under the thick line, but you are within what I call the tram lines, with ones on either side. And Edgehead is also just avoiding the main ones. I'm afraid Newland Rig and Duerton, I fear, I can't quite make out exactly where they are, but I think they may be more on that. They were trying to avoid Vogrie. I don't know how well they've done that. And they were trying to avoid Dalkeith Country Park, and they were trying to avoid Saltersgate Special Street, because that's another thing that they're supposed to try and avoid.
So what was their reason for avoiding Vogrie and Dalkeith Country Park?
Those are areas of mental natural quiet.
And what about the area in between them, for God's sake?
Sadly, that is not a designated country park.
Can I just clarify, did you say that they're coming over Newland Rig and Duerton at 4,000 feet?
No, much higher than that.
Right, so what's the height?
They will,
here?
it is expected they will almost all the time be higher than they are just now. So if you're not worried about the noise just now, you won't be worried about the noise from a plane in the future. Sorry, gentleman at the back.
Yeah, at the moment, well, we see them I live in Cowsland, they come over our house.
Yep.
They seem to have incredible flexibility at the height at which they can come
Yep.
over. And the experience you started off talking about, one coming over your house, we have them coming
Yep.
over and they think, oh, I can make out that. Oh, I can wave to the pilot. It's that variation that they seem to have, and I'm not sure what the technical reason for that is. It because they want to just let people see the?
No. I often thought that. The pilots actually have very little control, in one sense, of where their planes go. They are told by air traffic controllers, fly at this height, fly at this speed, fly in that
But
direction.
why a variation in the height? I can understand direction giving different times,
Yeah. Yeah.
lengthening or
Yeah.
shortening, but I can't understand the rationale behind it.
I'm not an air traffic controller. My guess would be weather conditions. That has quite a lot to do with it. But also something else that I'll try and show you here. And that's, again, with new technology. They can now do this thing called continuous descent approach. The conventional approach that they used just now is that they come down and then they sort of fly along at that sort of level, low level, and then for final approach they get down there. And that bit there probably is the bit that's over Cowsland. So it might be a wee bit up or it might be a wee bit down again, and I don't know what the reasons are. The new way continuous descent approach, and that they leave the cruise altitude is 36,000 feet or thereabouts. I think somewhere like Carlisle will start coming down.
Yeah.
This one, all controlled by computer, it can work out, given the air quality and the wind speed and stuff like that, when to start bringing it down. They don't have to start coming down there. They can come along here, and so they stay much higher. Then you can see it comes down a lovely smooth line. So the theory is they shouldn't have to put their air brakes on at all. Just like sort of, it sets the engine to tick over to bring it down at just the right sort of level. Again, weather affects that. If there's sudden gusts of winds and changes have to be made, then changes have to be made. But that's the theory, and that's why they're saying under this new system that generally the planes are going to be probably higher than they are just now.
So Andrew, just to be clear, when you say putting the air brakes on,
Yeah.
is that the big change of pitch that you hear?
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
really the main.
Yes, because what's happening, you're changing the airflow over the airframe. There are various sources of noise that come from aeroplanes. If you look on our website, I think there's an excellent thing describing how noise comes. But engines is one of them, yes, but the noise of the wind going over the airframe is another one. So that's that one there. So that's why the route is where it is. And if you aren't happy, you're able to go on and consult that book. And this is absolutely hopeless. This is a copy of the form that you fill in, and there's also questions you can ask and stuff that you can do, so you can let them know.
Where do you find that?
On the Airspace Change website, which is, you find that from the corporate part of the airport website. If you do edinburghairport.com, you get to all about the passengers and park your car here and fly here and buy all this stuff in our shops, because we get a percentage of everything that's sold. Thank you, but that's how they do it, by the way. That's why you're made to walk through World Duty Free, because they're trying to get more sales. They don't, the franchises, the shops, they don't pay an annual rent. They pay an annual percentage of their takings. So it's in the airport's interest to try to make you spend as much money as you can, because they will get more money. Just let you know.
Just like the car park.
Don't talk about the car park.
Can you get links on like Cathay
Yeah.
villages and things like that?
We can put them on.
It's easier, yeah.
Time Water.
Yeah.
I think we already do have.
Yeah.
They're already there, but we can put them back to the top.
You've got to get onto the corporate one,
Just before
and there
you
is.
do that, could you just clarify again for people how they get to that document to fill in?
Yes, that's
So
what
they
they
go into Edinburgh.
Well, if you go to the airport first and look for a link to the corporate website, because that's where they put all the community stuff as well. To me, it's not obvious, but if they said community or community and corporate, but anyway. And if you can't do that, then it's quite easy to find it. Anyway, you simply bung the word corporate dot in front of edinburghairport.com. So corporate.edinburghairport.com will get you there. And on there you will find lots of links to airspace change proposal. And on one of the pages, if you go for the consultation materials, that gives you all the various documents. I would strongly suggest you start with the summary. If you're really brave, you can go for the full options appraisal. That's the 833-page one. And then there's the full one, which, if you can cope with the summary, the full one gives a bit more, which is quite useful. And there's a tab at the top. I think it's Get Involved, and that's the one that leads you to the consultation. You can fill it in online, or you can try printing it out. I've made a complete big breakfast of this one, and it's so small anyway that